talking and socializing, so I apologize. Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the April 24th, 2025 Board of Selectmen meeting. And as usual, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and then to be followed by a moment of silence for two people. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could remain standing for a moment of silence for Pope Francis, who passed away on Easter Monday, who really was a great voice for the marginalized in the world, for the voiceless animals, and for peace. And we remember him and his great legacy. And we also remember and pray for John Conti, who passed away tragically this week. John was a great advocate for the town he grew up in. He loved Greenwich like no other. He was working on so many initiatives for us right up until the end. And it's a surprise for everybody, but we want to keep John and his family in our thoughts and our prayers. And we just hope that they're at peace. Thank you. Okay. It's not coming through. Okay. Okay. So, should we delay it for a second?
1 second, let me see.
Okay. All righty.
Will's coming to look at it, but I mean, the mics are working. I'm not sure why it's going out on the TV, not going on the TV.
You started to come through before, but now it's dead.
Okay.
Okay. And they're all working.
Okay, well, we'll see what we see.
Okay. On the Zoom, so
Okay.
you can proceed. We all got things to do.
Okay. Very good. So, do we have a motion for the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of April 10th, 2025?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you. And is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of April 10th, 2025?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll go on to the first Selectmen's updates, but before I do that, Julie Deschamps of Waste Free Greenwich sent over a note to be read. DEEP has selected the town of Greenwich for a materials management infrastructure grant of over $15,000, almost $16,000, for food scrap collection units, which is great news. She wants to thank the Board of Selectmen for the letter of support in the grant application. The remaining steps currently are under discussion with town departments, and the board has communicated that there was no need for an additional presentation. And the second is about the new at-home pickup service for textile recycling through a partnership between Grab, we're just talking about, and HelpSee. This program is a free and easy way for residents to divert unwanted textiles from our waste stream to reuse and recycle, and it even raises funds for recycling education for our community. Details are available through the Public Works Recycling site. So thank you, everybody involved with Waste Free Greenwich and the Sustainability Committee and Grab for starting this all off 30-something years ago. But that's great news. And again, our goal is to further to continue to take as many things out of the waste stream as possible, not only for the environment, but also makes good economic sense. So we thank everybody for that. And all the volunteers that worked really hard on that. Hope everybody had a nice Passover and Easter, and hopefully it's with the warm weather here, things will be people be in happy moods and everything, and with lots of good things going on in a busy town. Right now, a couple updates. I'm working with Owen Weaver on a policy regarding town properties. Apparently we don't have a policy, so I know when I was in the legislature, once in a while we would get a note from the state saying, hey, we have a piece of land there, would the town be interested in taking it from us? And likewise, if we have some excess properties, I was on a committee 25 years ago, which looked at properties we had to see if we wanted to get rid of them and sell them off. So we're working on a policy right now. Also, I spoke with DOT this week, Mark Vitale, and about getting some flashing lights that are going to be solar powered in Bruce Park that will tell people, remind people that they're speeding. This will be near the ball field and the tennis courts. And that does work. I've seen it in Florida. It catches your attention. So this may be actually a solution and really help mitigate a lot of the speeding issues throughout town. I went through the old neighborhood in Coscow the other day to see how the sign was working on Valley Road, and I spoke with Jim Santaguida, who was really concerned about the stop sign, and he said it does seem to be working, that people seem to be, you could see the brake lights now. So that's good, and maybe this program there, we'll take a look at how it works in Bruce Park. Maybe we could also look at it in Coscow and other places. So there are some really good signs on the horizon to get things done and certainly listen to people's concerns. So far, so good. We had a groundbreaking yesterday, very successful one. That was the most well-attended groundbreaking I've ever seen. Usually ribbon cuttings get big crowds, but that groundbreaking usually get a few people. But
Well, it helps that it wasn't snowing. That's what happened for Central.
Yes, that's right.
And when you have 400 students in attendance, including the OGS Dolphin.
Is that why they were there? You had a captive audience, but they were really excited, and it was nice to see. And again, it's an example of people working together. We all interviewed that building committee. They worked really well, and they're still doing that. And it's, again, an example of getting to yes for our community. Last night, I had the honor of speaking at a Holocaust commemoration, and then today we did a commemoration of the Armenian genocide, and it's just reminders of us, of all of us, of our history, of the world, and the evils we saw, in the last century are still here, and that's why I think it still calls for a greater American presence to engage around the world and to walk away from isolationism. It's really critical that we have a leading role there. So great crowd today, and thank you to Alyssa and Dawn and Greg Zorthian and everybody else who helped with that. So it was a nice turnout. Later on, we will have a proclamation to Neighbor to Neighbor at 5:30. Actually, for Neighbor to Neighbor at the Hyatt. And then this Friday, we have Arbor Day at 10 a.m. at New Leb. So hopefully everybody will be there and to see the still fairly new school. The Tree Conservancy is having their annual tree party on Friday, same Friday, 6:30. This Saturday, Live Like Luke at 10 a.m., 10 to 1? No, 9.
9 to 1.
9 to 1. And then from 10 to 1 tomorrow at Town Hall, Eversource is going to be giving out rain barrels. So if you need a rain barrel to capture some water, that's actually a good idea. They will be here, and so I'm going to try and stop by there also.
Are they free?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they're not free?
You had to order them already through the Department of Public Works, or Environmental Affairs. I'm not sure. But anyway, yes, they are. They were heavily discounted though.
At cost.
And this is just a
They're at
pickup for them, for people who ordered them a few weeks ago.
That's right, because we did that last year, and there was a
Yeah.
close to it.
They were and they people should get them because they can be extremely useful. But this was unfortunately not free.
Well, I apologize, and if somebody shows up there tomorrow thinking it's for free, go see Ken Borsick.
Absolutely, I'll put my home address in Milford.
Okay, thank you. Monday, I'm going to do a walk in the Porch Check Road area with Brendan DeSimone to continue working with that neighborhood about pedestrian safety and mitigating speeding. So we thank Brendan and all of the people there that are working with the town to come up with ways to again, slow down the traffic and to avoid areas being a cut-through. On Tuesday, the 29th, will be another meeting at the Wallace Center regarding enhancements to that property there. A lot of exciting things happening there. I've been speaking with Steve Katz about further enhancements, opportunities to name things there to get that cost down. So we're looking at different rooms and the actual cafe. So if somebody's out there that has a passion for the Wallace Center and for the aging in town there's some really good opportunities. Happy 103rd birthday to Josie Monroe. I can't believe we did our 100th. It just seems like it was yesterday. She's 103, so I think we're going to see her on Friday. So happy birthday, Josie. On May 1st, it's a busy day. We have a National Day of Prayer in here at 1 o'clock. And then we have the Israel Independence Day flag raising at 4:30. And then the annual JFS Gala in Stanford at 6 p.m. Lots of Greenwich people will be there. May 3rd, we have the Old Greenwich Yacht Club Commissioning Day. Later that day, the Indian Harbor Commissioning Day. Tuesday, the 6th, Meals on Wheels will be getting a proclamation there. I think, I don't know, what's their, is it 50 years? 50th, the Meals on Wheels, very important nonprofit here in town, so we congratulate them. May 7th is Walk or Bike to Work Day. I don't know if my colleagues are going to do that. Are they? Maybe?
Yes.
One yes, one maybe.
I don't have a bike, and I think it might be too far to walk, but maybe I'll walk for a part of it.
Well, certainly it's also to schools. So our active transportation task force has been promoting this in schools as well. And I think that we have something like 5 schools signed up to do this already. So yes.
It's a different day for me too, so maybe I'll get a pass.
You can get a pass. Well, you have to give it back to us another time. And it's somebody's birthday. I don't know. I don't want to say if it's your 41st or 42nd, but we'll celebrate it then. And then I am going to be meeting with Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz on Friday to go over the Korean War ceremony. And then also just a note, we'd gotten a call the other day about public signs on public property. And just be careful with that. We try to, the First Amendment we respect, and we've already looked into as far as political signs, and not much we can do unless we want to end up in court. But we do try to do it a little differently in Greenwich and come to agreements about, those signs. But also, there are some rules and regulations. So again, please remember, ask first before you put something up there. And after your event is over, don't leave it up there. All it does is cause resentment in the town. And, as you walk around, you have so many great organizations and garden clubs beautifying the town, and then you see all these signs there, and it does really take away from that. So we absolutely get your notices out there, but get them down as soon as your event is over. With that, I will turn it over to Lauren.
Thanks, Fred. I don't have much of an update today because I know the 3 of us have somewhere to be after our meeting. But that's great about the policy, because I'm thinking about the subject that we heard. There was some land, a small parcel of land in Riverside where someone thought about trying to buy it from us and develop it. So I'm glad to hear that there's policy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, is tomorrow the Stand Against Racism?
Friday at noon.
Yes. So I don't know if you mentioned that, Fred.
did
And
not.
I'm not usually the one that mentions any events, but I thought I'd catch that one.
One of you guys always remember,
It's typically not me. It's typically not me. Yeah, very brief update.
Thank you. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think Fred did a really great job. Yesterday's Old Greenwich School groundbreaking was awesome. I am this board's liaison to the building committee. I think that its chair cited that the committee has met 190 times or something like that, 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. But just for the public to be aware, things are going to start moving. Now that we've done the groundbreaking, it was timed, on purpose. It is a phased project, so it will not be completed until January 2028, but there will be a lot happening in that time. A shout out to Angie and Ken. Yesterday was Administrative Professionals Day, and they do so much to keep us going, so thank you. And it's not a coincidence, this week is National Volunteers Week, so a big thank you to everyone who serves this town, especially everyone who is a volunteer appointee to our boards and commissions. We have 22 of them, something like over 200 residents who serve us. And we wouldn't get as much done if we didn't have their service. So thank you. Lauren caught that, yes, Friday is Stand Against Racism, noon here on Friday. Live Like Luke, Saturday at Greenwich Point. I think right now that we're watching the weather, so everybody think good weather thoughts. But that is a beautiful legacy of Luke Myers, who, very sadly lost a courageous battle to cancer, but he was a high school student, very committed to environmentalism. So that it's a beautiful day. And there are so many days in April, I think because it's Earth Month, but that day, April 26th, is also National Go Birding Day. And if anyone has never gone on a birding tour of Greenwich Point, I mean, this is a destination for birders. So I just want to encourage people. I think it's the first Sunday of the month. Friends of Greenwich Point meet at the flagpole. Our own Cynthia Ellinger is a leader of that tour, and it is fantastic. Also, on May 1st, Art to the Avenue returns. That is hosted by the Greenwich Arts Council. That has a special place in the McWiggins' hearts because my mother-in-law was one of the founding members of Greenwich Arts Council. But it's always a really fun night, so I hope we get good weather and people come out for that. Like Fred, I'm looking forward to all the Boat and Yacht Club commissionings that begin in May. May 3rd is the first. You already mentioned walk or bike to school or work on May 7th. I'm just going to end, though, by saying that congratulations to the RTM on passing its sense of the meeting room statement on Monday. It was well done. I think now all eyes are on the May 12th RTM budget vote. The SOMR is not binding, but I do hope that our finance board has taken this to heart, that the RTM does not pass these SOMRs lightly. But a word to our audience, this is not in our hands anymore. It's not in the Board of Selectmen's hands. It's really not in the RTM's hands anymore because the RTM only can vote the budget up or down or make further cuts. It cannot add back. So from here on out, write to the finance board if that's something that is meaningful to you. Tonight is the Board of Education's meetings, and they are going to continue to meet because they have to operate on a balanced budget. So whatever cuts are imposed on them, they're going to have to figure out how to do that. So again, if this is something that's important to you, do tune in and make your voices heard.
Thank you, Janet. And yeah, one of the silver linings in this, and not just the education, but any of the other cuts, lots of people have reached out and wanted to know how they can help and how they can raise money. So again, the public-private partnerships are coming up. Some a little harder with the education component of it, but you know, it requires sometimes thinking outside the box. And with what comes down from Hartford and now in DC and sometimes locally, it makes it a little harder to, you know, to do more with less, but we can do that and we will. But it does spark some other conversations and it does engage the citizenry a little bit more. So I always try to look at the silver linings and things. So that's been a positive. So I've had some great conversations with people about all different areas of the budget, not just the education one. So thank you. All right. Going on to old business, there is none. So short slate on the new business also. We have our annual request for a special exemption from Patrick Murphy, who's the GM over at the Millbrook Club. Is Patrick with us?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Patrick. How are you?
All doing wonderful, enjoying the weather. How about yourself?
It's great. We're all happy with the sun, that's for sure. But thanks, Patrick. So again, it's we do this every year. If you could just fill us in on the date, which we have it here, but for those, so the people in town watching this will know the date and what you're asking.
Absolutely. So on July 12th, we'll be hosting our annual clam bake. There will be live music. Obviously with the sound ordinance ending at 10 p.m., we're asking for an extension to 11:45.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and we do this every year, and we'll give the public 2 weeks to weigh in on this. But the last 6 years, there has really been no pushback on it. You've done a great job. I even attended one time, and it was well done. It was well done. So we'll revisit this and vote in 2 weeks. But I don't anticipate any issues with this. But we'll just to follow our precedent of waiting 2 weeks, unless it's an emergency, we'll do the formal vote in 2 weeks, Patrick.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Thanks. Okay. Next up is a presentation of the Town of Greenwich's Sustainability Committee's annual report. And it says Chris Herndon is going to be here, but Myra is pinch hitting for Chris. Good morning, Myra. It's green. There you go.
There we go. Thank you for Selectmen Camillo and Selectwoman Lauren Rabin and Select Person Janet Stone McGuigan. And yes, thank you to Chris Herndon, whose expert help we are indebted to her for putting this report together. I am happy to be here and thank you for inviting me to present the Greenwich Sustainability State of Sustainability Report for 2025. The report showcases the strides we are making toward a more sustainable community, one that accords with our guiding principles and a new vision narrative. This year, the Greenwich Sustainability Committee made notable progress in policy, outreach, and on-the-ground initiatives. We adopted a new vision statement and developed a climate action plan in partnership with the Conservation Commission and approved by this board. We've actively engaged with our state delegation, RTM leaders, and town department heads to align sustainability goals across governance. And we continue to publish the popular bi-monthly Greenwich Sustainability Committee newsletter, and we've expanded our public engagement through a recurring WGCH radio segment. In April of last year, we celebrated Earth Day with our second annual Sustainability Awards, recognizing local changemakers, especially youth, who embody the GSC's mission. It's a lot to say Greenwich Sustainability Committee every time. Under our business sector, the committee continues to encourage circular economy practices, including purchasing second-hand goods. These actions help reduce landfill landfill use and offset emissions from manufacturing and transport. Under climate resiliency, Greenwich achieved the Sustainable Connecticut Silver certification and was named a climate leader, affirming our progress on emissions reduction, adaptation, and sustainability planning. We have a lot of sectors. We have 8 sectors, so we're going to go through them all. Community culture, Greenwich Green and Clean, and neighborhood volunteers continue to beautify and care for over 300 traffic islands and medians. The Sustainability Awards program honors local residents driving environmental change in Greenwich. Under food systems, the Greenwich Community Gardens operates over 250 organic plots and maintains 12 beehives. Last summer, over 600 pounds of produce were donated to Neighbor to Neighbor. In collaboration with Greenwich Communities, the gardens prioritize access for food insecure residents. The Food Shed Forum, a project of the Food Shed Network and the Conservation Commission, hosted 6 community events to promote a fair and resilient regional food system. In the land-water sector, Greenwich Pollinator Pathway made major strides at Cos Cob Firehouse Park, planting over 200 native plants of numerous species, removing invasives, and revitalizing the riparian corridor around Strickland Brook. A native seed library was launched at Cos Cob Library, and the Pollinator Pathway engaged youth through workshops and high school interns. I will just put a plug in on Saturday. Cos Cob Library is hosting Rabble, which is a gathering of butterflies event of workshops. I think there are like 4 workshops at the library on Saturday. Under legislation and advocacy, the passage of the Quiet Yards Ordinance, the 3rd attempt in 30 years, restricts gas-powered leaf blowers to improve air quality and reduce noise pollution. Supported by the committee and Quiet Yards Greenwich, this policy helps protect residents' health and quality of life, as well as minimizes harm to wildlife and the environment. Under transportation and air quality, the Connecticut Department of Transportation launched its planning and environment linkages study this year, aiming to reduce congestion and improve infrastructure on I-95 from Greenwich to Stamford, including local access roads and post-road corridor. And at the same time, Greenwich DPW held district-level public hearings to gather input for a transportation safety action plan. This feedback was incorporated into a town contract for Safe Streets for All recommendations, part of the Vision Zero initiative to eliminate traffic deaths and serious injuries while enhancing safe mobility for all. Under waste reduction, the town's voluntary food scrap recycling program has been a quiet success, diverting over 300 tons or 600,000 pounds of organic waste from the trash stream. This helps reduce methane emissions from landfills while enriching soil through composting. This report highlights a dynamic year of local action, collaboration, and climate leadership. We thank you for your continued partnership in helping Greenwich build a more sustainable, equitable, and resilient future. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Myra, and hats off to everybody, including yourself, for getting the ball down the field on a lot of these important things. We're seeing progress. The numbers about reduction of the municipal solid waste is terrific, and the numbers in the food scraps, I know we want to get a lot higher, but it's a great start. Just 6 years ago, we didn't have any of that.
Well, this grant that we read about this morning will help advance that.
And you talked about, clearing out invasive species and planting things, and I know there's an effort going on in Binney Park right now, which is really nice, and a lot of kids there that are working on that. So, all good stuff, and still a lot of work to do, but certainly we couldn't do during this Volunteer Appreciation Week. We couldn't do it without you all, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely, thank you, and such a thorough overview and a lovely report visually and substance, and from a substance standpoint as well. And I'm so curious, because now I'm driving around and you see like the evasives are dead, right? And I keep asking, when's the best time to get rid of them before they like emerge again and strangle all our trees?
Now is the perfect time. They're easy to identify because they're the first ones to come up, which is one of the strategies that they have. If you notice, for instance, all the yellow emerging leaves in the trees, almost all of those are Norway maples, and that is a serious invasive. But it's the same thing with barberry and the garlic mustard and devil's walking stick. All those plants are out in the environment right now, easy to identify and easy to take out.
Yeah, I think what we could do is maybe publicize that more, not just in public places, but even like, somebody's, residence and stuff. Because I always, when summer comes, it's like, oh, gosh. But if we
It's
could-
hard. It's a lot harder.
Yes, but if we could take care of it beforehand and when it's easier.
Later in the summer in Pomeranz, Pine Needham, and Tuckman Park, there will be efforts. I'm working with an intern actually starting week after next to remove things, and maybe it's appropriate to put an article in the paper about what we're doing and how to identify. We can
I
work
think
on
so,
that.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is probably an appropriate time to give a shout out to our Department of Environmental Affairs, who I think are tuning in by Zoom, and the Conservation Commission. I think that there's a lot of information. So if residents have questions about invasives,
That's absolutely right.
That's the place to go. So I'm going to give a shout out to my co-chair of the Sustainability Committee, Beth Evans. She's our Director of Environmental Affairs. Thank you, Myra and Chris, for pulling this report together. And as Fred says, it's very appropriate that this is Volunteers Week because there are so many members of the committee that are, just being role models. Tuesday was Earth Day. And again, it was probably appropriate that night at the high school was the Community Service Awards. And very proudly, 2 of the recipients from the high school were also past recipients of the Sustainability Awards, Samira Madan and Thomas McKinney. We couldn't be prouder of them, but they're simply the creme de la creme. I mean, so many students
That's right.
are so committed.
And they continue to be leaders in
Exactly.
the youth community.
And we just have to do right by them. I mean, clearly we're doing something right by instilling these values in them, but now we have to return the favor and be role models to them.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well said.
And thank you for your efforts as a co-chair of the Sustainability Committee, which has really taken off and done some great work, and bless you.
And it all seems fun too, so. A little
Absolutely.
jealous, because some of the committees aren't as fun.
Well, you do know that you're, come on. You do know that you're always welcome. And Fred, thank you. You started this committee in 2019. So thank you for that vision.
Yeah, and I had great hope for this committee, and the fact that I could just sit back and watch it taking off with great leadership and all that you've done. It makes us all very proud because you can see it's tangible what you're doing, and it really this can't be done without the volunteer leaders that we have in town. So.
Well, I will take this opportunity to thank you for your foresight and establishing this committee. Without you doing it, we wouldn't be here.
This is a great example of bipartisanship. I mean, really, this is not about politics. This is everyone coming together and saying, this is a value that we want to keep the green in Greenwich, as we say. And so, yeah.
I think that's a great point, and thank you. I think when people in the future walk through a park and they see the beautiful flowers and the green, they're not going to say, I wonder if they were Republican or Democrat or independent. They're going to say, thank you for doing it, volunteers. And so it really is, it's a nonpartisan issue, but it's still an issue that, that needs work and guidance and leadership. And you've all provided it, all of you. And so people I know in town are very, very grateful. You may not hear it, but on behalf of everybody in town, thank you for all that you've done. And this stuff is, it's really exciting, and I know it's only going to grow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. And thank Chris, too. She's terrific.
She is.
Okay, we just have one more item, and that's the request to change the Board of Selectmen meeting date of May 8th. And so I apologize, this is all my fault for the two meetings in May. I have my nephew graduating in Tampa, so I have to go down there for a couple of days, and then I have a Navy graduation in family member in North Carolina, at the end of the month. So we just have to change it. And there was an email today that we.
Yeah, I think the date, we may have to look at next Tuesday, you said, Lauren?
The 13th?
The 13th,
May
a
13th.
Zoom-only meeting, just because we won't be able to get the meeting room or the Cohen room, but it would obviously be noticed as a Zoom only, so.
From 12 to 1:30 worked for Janet
That works for
and
Fred's
I.
schedule. Janet, does that work for you?
Yes, that, exactly, because I can't do it earlier. Lauren and I can do it starting at noon.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you both.
And I'll give a heads up, it won't be this meeting, but I'll have to put on the agenda if we can change our June 26th meeting to an evening meeting.
It's always fun to switch it up a little bit, so.
But I'll get it officially on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
That's great.
Do we have any appointments or nominations?
Do we have to vote on that? Do we have to vote on the date
Yes.
change?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. So it's the May 13th, 12 to 1:30. Is there a motion to change the date of May 8th to May 13th for the next Board of Selectmen meeting?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camillo's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you very much. And appointments and nominations?
Okay, we have 5 of them. So Lauren Rabin, I motion that we nominate Steve Katz as a returning member of the Commission on Aging, position R4, for a term expiring June 30th, 2028. Do you want me to read all 5 or do them individually?
I'm fine.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
easier to do all 5.
And then also motion that we nominate Alan Reitzfeld for a new membership of the Alarm Appeals Board, position R2, for a term expiring June 30th, 2029. Lauren Rabin, I motion that we nominate Philip Dotson as a returning member of the Alarm Appeals Board, position R5, for a term expiring June 30th, 2029. Lauren Rabin, I motion that we nominate Nancy Burke as a returning member of the Historic District Commission, position A3, for a term, this is scary, expiring October 30th, 2030. And then finally, Lauren Rabin, I motion that we appoint Bill Ridenour as a returning member of the Selectmen's Nomination Advisory Committee for a term expiring June 30th, 2028.
Thank you, Lauren. Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camillo's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you so much, Lauren, as always, for doing that. I did forget to mention there's the annual Daffodil Show is today at 3:30, so over at Christ Church. And special thanks to everybody. It's a nice little show there if you haven't been to it. Seeing no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Don. And thanks, Andy.